The wind sang through the dry grass like a whisper from the dead. The world around Red Hollow was painted in gold and sorrow as the sun sank behind the hills. On a lonely hill, Lydia Turner stood in black, her veil fluttering like a broken wing. In front of her, the grave, freshly dug, the cross roughly carved. The name James Turner burned into it by her own shaking hands. She had buried her husband 3 days ago. Alone, no preacher, no townsfolk, just the endless sky and the hollow echo of the man she loved. "James," she whispered, "you always said I was strong, but I ain't, not without you." The wind didn't answer. It only carried dust and the quiet sound of a horse approaching. She turned. A man rode slow up the hill. Tall in the saddle, dark hat pulled low, eyes steady as the ground beneath them. Cole Dawson, the quiet rancher from across the creek. Folks said he'd lost his wife years ago, and since then, he'd spoken to no one unless it was about cattle or weather. He dismounted, holding his hat to his chest. "Didn't mean to intrude." Lydia shook her head, voice soft. "You're fine, Mr. Dawson." He stepped closer, boots crunching on dry grass. "I made something." From his saddlebag, he pulled a finely carved wooden cross, smooth and strong. Thought maybe he'd rest better under something that'll last. Her breath caught. Tears welled up again, but this time they weren't heavy. They were thankful. "That's kind of you," he nodded, eyes cast down. "It's not kindness, ma'am, just understanding." Together, they replaced the old cross, his hand steady, hers trembling. When it was done, she looked at him, really looked, and saw in him the same emptiness she carried. When he left, she whispered, "Thank you." But he didn't turn back. Every dawn, the ranch tested her. The fences fell, the roof leaked, the cattle scattered. Grief had stolen her strength, but she refused to break. And then, each time she was about to, Cole showed up, fixing a gate. Dropping off supplies, saying little, staying just long enough to make sure she'd be all right. Once she told him, "You don't owe me anything." He just smiled faintly. "Ma'am, no one owes kindness. That's why it's worth something." They started sharing coffee on the porch in the mornings. He'd sit quiet, eyes on the horizon. She'd talk about her husband, about the little things, how he loved the sound of rain, how he promised they'd grow old together. Cole never interrupted, never pitied. He just listened, the way a man listens when he's been through the same storm. And somewhere between the silence and the sunrise, her heart began to breathe again. The sky turned black one night. The wind howled, the barn trembled. Lydia ran out to tie the horses, rain slicing her face. A flash of lightning split the sky, and suddenly the barn roof gave way. She screamed, and strong arms pulled her back just in time. "Cole." He shielded her, dragging her out as wood and wind tore past. When it was over, she clung to him, shaking. "You could have died," she cried. He looked down at her, soaked to the bone, and said softly, "Would have been worth it." She didn't answer, just pressed her forehead to his chest. And for the first time in months, she didn't feel cold. 2 weeks later, a spark caught the hay. Flames roared, swallowing the barn. Cole came running through the smoke, his coat aflame, saving the horses one by one. When he stumbled out, coughing, she slapped his chest in tears. "Why do you keep risking your life for me?" He looked at her, eyes steady through the smoke. "Because you make me remember I'm still alive." That night, she nursed his burns by lamplight. Their hands brushed once, and neither pulled away. When spring came, so did the wildflowers. The prairie turned soft and green again. Cole came to her porch that morning, hat in hand, voice trembling just slightly. "Lydia," he said, "you've carried his name alone long enough. Maybe it's time someone carried yours with you." Tears filled her eyes. "Are you asking me to marry you, Cole Dawson?" He nodded slowly. "Not to replace what you lost, just to give you a reason to keep living." She looked toward the grave on the hill, grass growing thick now, the cross standing tall. And she smiled through the tears. Yes, when they rode into town that evening, side by side, hand in hand, even the saloon doors went quiet. And up on the hill, a soft wind carried wildflower petals across the grave, as if love itself had returned, reborn from the ashes of grief.